Mr. Chair, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and members of the public. Welcome to the vibrant heart of Dearborn, city where research, innovation thrives, and history comes to life. I have been a proud member of the Dearborn community for over 45 years. So I've seen Dearborn through the good times and the bad. Dearborn is my home, and I am very proud to welcome all of you to my home today. As we meet here for our budget hearing in Dearborn City Hall, I want to share a little bit about our community. Dearborn proudly holds the title of the capital of Arab America, with the largest Arab American population in the United States. Our city has a diverse mixture of traditions, languages, customs, and amazing cuisine. In fact, Dearborn has the best Arabic food outside the news. Dearborn is home to the iconic Ford Motor Company, iconic presence that has shaped Dearborn's identity. Dearborn is also an education hub with esteemed institutions such as the University of Michigan Dearborn and Henry Ford College, which nurture the minds of our future leaders. And beyond automobiles, Dearborn fosters innovation across various industries, contributing to advancements that impact our local and global communities. Dearborn stands as a city of distinction and is home to iconic landmarks such as Henry Ford Museum and the Arab American National Museum, a beacon of cultural heritage and diversity. Many individuals in Dearborn today, including business owners, lawyers, educators, and a range of professionals, can trace their roots back to Ford Motor Company. Whether it was their parents or grandparents launching their careers here to support their families, Ford Motor Company has contributed to the success of many in our community. Again, welcome to Dearborn and have a good time in Dearborn. You're going to enjoy the lunch, I promise. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that Wayne County Commissioner Monique Baker McCormick is here, as well as I see present Chairwoman Alicia Bell, who also named this meeting. Madam Clerk, the next item on the agenda.
Next item C, approval of the minutes from the August 22nd, 2023 meeting.
A motion is in order. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Those opposed, this action stands approved. Next item on the agenda.
Item D1, requesting commission approval of recommended comprehensive executive budget appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 2023-2024 and the projected budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. Item A, discussion and presentation by the Wayne County Employees Retirement System.
Okay, at this time, I would like to ask who is here from the Wayne County Employee Retirement System to speak to the matter. Great. As you prepare to speak, I would like you to say your name and your position.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. The commission has received the CEO's recommendation for the retirement system for the next fiscal year. Upon reviewing this, and do you have any comments as it relates to the strengths and or the weaknesses that you believe that this budget will bring in the forthcoming years? Okay, you could just give us a general overview as it relates to any variations that might be within this current recommended budget, and highlight any of the priorities or any programs that you will be assuming in the next year. going in there.
So for the budget, we pretty much got the same, dollar amount for the budget. As some items moved around on the expenditure regarding the salary and this. So there really isn't any major changes from prior year expected, year or, projection after that.
But we project is to ensure that we are retirees. We have projects to work with county and happy, healthy, retirement. Don't just retirement, but knowledge is over now. Basically, all of these departments have seen challenges with retaining employees. I'm looking at their FTEs, and are you having any of those challenges, or as far as any personnel changes or any issues associated with stability and whatever? We're pretty lucky that we have a very senior staff in Murray. There's county, but bringing in positions that bringing new people and have vacancies. Another question is, how many collective bargaining units are affiliated? What are those units? Another question there, I'm having our fiscal advisor to confirm as it relates to there is some sort of ongoing conversations associated with stipends. And before we, at this time, before we get that information, I will recognize Commissioner Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wondered if you could address the unfunded liability percentage that we've got. I see that it looks like 65% for the county.
Correct.
What was the previous year? Just a little vague, tell me what the historical picture.
However, these funding ratios over the last 10 years, about 65% and high, low tax. Next 3 years, constant 5%. And primarily the reasons for no change from last year was both the time market and basically the lot. Do that. Smooth rate of return. That that caused us to have some difficulties of funding. But the county plan had some offset payments, which helped by and that was Wix town employees, quite a bit, the money out there is, about $2.2 million. That would be hard on the beneficiary plan. I hope it's saving plan, but what do they take the money to say, raise the account and farm, then it's being that. Benefits that help find the level. That's my. That gave,
What's really in right now, would bring that down. And I know it's very dependent on the market.
well, you know, the county has been generous over the years of putting an extra money plan. Paid off. 5% that extra money. That's because that's, and that would do that. Okay. But, the primary thing is, the 12-year amortization. And so the amortization of our mortgage on the stack. So, you look around the program as it is, and, see the return.
Thank you.
Okay, are there any additional questions, Commissioner Moran? Waiting, yeah, can you until I get additional information?
Are we done with the stipends, some of the stipends in this budget? For the retirement?
Which budget? I don't know.
For this coming year.
The statement is paid monthly, every month we take it out from county.
Is it the $15 stipend?
No.
Okay, how we do it next year?
$15 stipend? I don't know. 70%.
So
Oh,
That is.
okay,
this would be Medicare.
okay. So you guys are,
So we do a pass-through stipend, so anybody 65 and under that is eligible for that stipend. It started in 2016, that was $2 million through the town retirement system. Paid us $70 on time, and 2022 was about 1.6.
Oh,
Not everybody's eligible.
right,
Once it's 65.
so with my laptop.
so I'm talking about
Just
two different things.
I'm trying to make sure I'm talking. Let me answer the question. We might their stipend and there's folks. Parents.
This is cool.
It's really good thing.
So, the question I had was regarding the, McDonald lawsuit settlement as relates to the, what the medical stipend. Do it at one time and just asking for the record of, is that going to be, is that still the case?
Oh, the stipends, will continue.
So from that lawsuit.
Yeah, the one payment that continues, based on the, our stuff, right?
Okay.
4 years, 2018. We're just paying.
Okay,
So the county, the board says it was designed, the county, we tell the county how much money is, coming to us. And they need, put it on their checks.
okay, so, okay, thank you for that clarification. Are there any additional questions, Commissioner Baker McCormick?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As far as the investments, and what we invest in, or what we might invest in, is that analyzed monthly or is it annually? How do you go about determining investment?
Sure, so. They we said about, just around $1 billion every month. We get one of our estimates. Then we run. Retirement commission, everyone, and staff is working together.
But major changes, happen monthly, possibly monthly. If
Yeah,
there's-
I would tell you that we're not major change.
Oh,
I would say too much.
thank you.
Okay, so, Gerard, remember at the last meeting, we had tabled that report and we'll, and ways and mean at the last ways and means the video meeting. We had tabled it and we'll have a further discussion as ways to the report that we presented, at the last meeting. Yeah, so thank you. Commissioner, Bayonne?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think we moved to the point on the investment ratio being 65% for the last 3 years. I know you won't predict the future, but do you think that it will rise again in the next 2 to 3 years? It's not gonna go down, I hope.
Well, I hope not either, but, last year I mentioned we did have a year market that we invested in, about year market. So this year we're up 12% already.
Okay, do you know?
Recovered 100% of our losses. So, yeah, there's a really, there's a really slide here on page.
Yes, yes, I know.
Page 23. Very interesting slide.
So.
You can see that there's it's balanced.
Okay,
And that
thank you.
volatility was market. But the way that we calculate everything before this movie, you know, the bomb, so that we can predict the whole. That new line is called the smooth line and realize maybe 4 years. But you know, the economy, everybody thought we're gonna have a recession. No, recession. Market is well good. The income market is fall because of the private income in the bank for supporting inflation will return. So buying here is holding up. You're getting 5.5% out of US Treasury, so that's how that firm bonds hold.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Commissioner, Marecki will be the last person on this,
So you told us this in the past, we're 65%. Your report's 70%. Why is it such a difference?
Well, there's a lot of reasons why it's different. Some towns have a much larger population. Their airport is much smaller. And they're about 90%. And so when the county and the airport split because airport nation act, the airport they do all they had they were more aggressive plan, and they had higher salaries, but they had lower defined benefit pensions. So their multipliers lower. Great salaries for pension benefits.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you. So, thank you for coming this morning, and, the committee will deliberate over the budget, and send this recommendation to the committee of whole, and, we here.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I continue. Okay, so, here, Bill, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning. Madam Board. Just a quick question. Earlier this year, we had retirement board come to our benefits and staffing task force, and to discuss things that help retain our child in Wayne County. One of those things that was brought up and that retirement board did was to solicit a study on the drop program. If you all could talk a little bit about that, what it could mean for the county if we were to institute a deferred retirement program, what the drop program is, and if it would have any impact, negative or positive on the retirement system.
So with retirement commissions, I mean. So in that study, and, there's wasn't 100% agree with more that. The trouble is that, people reach the drop program, the countywide drop program to pay, senior level employees, drop either 70 or 75% of their retirement. Later, no longer pay into the retirement fund, but they would be not drawing 100% of the retirement benefit. Options, 7% options, 5% options. Obviously, that you have bargain with going to that plan, but was close to what I would say is cost neutral.
Right, here's that it was $500,000 this year, cost. Yes, I believe that's correct. I'm sorry, I wasn't here to talk about that. I believe we, financially correct, $500,000.
And I think it was 400,000 for stuff. I would stand corrected because I didn't hear of that. That's what that program does. It allows for retirement option. City of Detroit runs one, and goes to the city of Dearborn Heights. Each group have one. So it is a Michigan retirement initiatives try to look at one that would cost neutral.
Thank you. I brought that up because we had a presentation at the task force, some of the ways being members are not on the task force, not one to hear that explanation. As you say, the city of Detroit does the state of Michigan had one particularly for the law enforcement. And as you know, we're having a hard time with our deputies at the sheriff's department. This could be an option for our public safety. So I want to let the committee members know that discussion and what came out of that. And as we look forward to the conversation with the administration, going forward,
They've been a large number of our employees like you.
the entire county is involved.
If I just, that's what I'm gonna add on to what Bob said, that drop program will kind of slow the retirement system was upside down. We have more retirees collecting the check and we have active. Another contribution to the funding. We didn't have that, and we probably much further ahead. In the fund, we have more retirees collecting versus we have paying in. Of course, you're gonna have the people who still live out of poverty.
Okay, I would also like to remind you all that any comments that you made, any questions that still remain unanswered, if you could supply that information to our staff. Also, in your opening statement, you also supply that to our staff, so we have a more complete record of your comments this morning. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, man. specifically the reports that were referenced, that were given to the benefits task force and any other, reference material that we could supply.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Item D, discussion and presentation by probate court.
Hello, how are you? Good morning.
Okay. If you use your mic, I'm not sure if the mic is here.
Yeah.
But everyone also that we've made such progress over the years that we're grateful for all your working with me and Wayne County Developmental Health Initiative. We're working together with more than 80 other stakeholders to try to address the issues in our county, to begin to address it in a serious way. We'll talk about that or answer any questions that you might have. If I do, I just better get for the budget, so I will go through it. But we're all working very, very hard. I make sure that appropriate behavioral health care for the citizens. My instructions are followed. And then to start with the behavioral health unit. We're working with DMAN, with Federal Integrated Health Network. We provide training to people, particularly healthcare professionals, to understand what's going on with we've been able to develop a real partnership between work and DMAN. I said, real partnership, literally we're talking to each other every single day. And that's in part to address training with law enforcement, but also we can learn about each other, do a better job, doesn't have issues in our county. We have priority issues that we're attempting to address by way of cycling through emergency departments and local jails, trying to minimize that. But what we've seen in the past is the person like picked up, taken to the protective custody, transported to a hospital, maybe in the hospital for a period of time, released from the hospital with no safety net, no plan of action. Well, through the behavioral health unit, the dedication of staff and support, what we really have seen now is, first of all, I'm the only judge who's hearing a case in all the cases. So really that it makes sense. Two, when we have a hearing, if I make a decision that a person requires treatment, well, typically in order to call it binding or 180 days, 6 days. That means that putting people in the hospital for 6 days, absolutely. It means that we're going to get them in the hospital, get them stabilized. Usually it's about 10 to 12 days back in the hospital. And what's so significant though is that we're requiring people to follow the law. Law is 5 days before you plan to discharge the person from the hospital, you must notify DMAN, behavioral health, and family members, there's a guardian in place. Why? So we can coordinate enough to talk to people. One of the real problems in family members are trying to help love. I just had 3 cases this morning, and each one begging for some help from the system. And so I'm telling people that we are going to provide that help by faith combination efforts. We're not going to have you out there alone trying to take care of the problem. We are using D-Link to be able to help family members coming together so that they have confidence that if a loved one goes off the reservation that does not follow through the directions of doctors, that they will instead, we'll go pick them up, not penalize, you know, arrest people. We're going to protect the custody, try to get help that they need. So this behavioral health is extremely important. Several of you participated in our ribbon cutting ceremony earlier this year, where we were talking about how we work together. You can see it, those of you who had a chance to come, you can see how many people are dedicated to making this work, dedicated to trying to help people who have behavioral health issues. So I wanted to share that with you. We're getting assistance through the Flint Foundation, other organizations. And while we aren't asking for more money, may not hear that from anybody else, we recognize and respect requests that we made, and also that the county executive asking for help and participation, involved, trying to work with those in our county. I also want to talk about some very positive things that are happening in this city. Probate court is now completely accessible remotely. All filings can be submitted by email, by fax. On-site services are also available to all customers and the assistant. I know that we get a lot of people who come in, want to come into the building, they want to come into the courtroom and get assistance. One, we can't get a legal device, but we can certainly now, we station people at the elevator door when they get off on the 13th floor. They want to file something, help them. Interestingly enough, many people are just intimidated by the court system, and they want you to basically sit down with them and go over each entry when you're filling out a form. Say you're filing a petition for guardianship, or you're filing a petition for state plan. We clearly now are able to help people through what we call a YouTube channel. How many of you have a phone? How many of you don't have a phone? How many have a phone? If you got a phone, you can go on YouTube, and County Probate Court YouTube channel, and you can file your petition, prepare it yourself. We have a person who he's a lawyer, but he's a good detective. That's how people recruited him. He is preparing all of each of these files, each of these petitions, so that he can talk you through it, even though his voice can talk you through every single step that you have to take. Right now, we have 48 petitions that can be utilized in that fashion. My way of thinking, my knowledge, I think there's any other entity in the state that's doing this. In fact, I will acknowledge Wayne County Probate Court received significant criticism from other colleagues around the state. My answer to them is that, listen, watch what we're doing and get out of it. Reality is that these citizens who come in who are without the assistance of legal counsel, and they're frightened, guaranteed by the time they leave, they aren't frightened anymore. They know, first of all, they can get help from their living room and get the work that they require done to get matters started. And we're absolutely utilizing technology in a fashion that should be fair and so easy for all of us. Even somebody like me, I am absolute tech Neanderthal. Unabashedly so. I drive my wife crazy. She's a real techie. She says, "Get out of the way. You're doing something. You're actually right. I know, but I keep recognizing something works." What we have person sitting next to me is extraordinary. And the staff that she's assembled who really are taking advantage of the opportunities that are available to people. So I can go on and on about this, and I know you have much time. Well, the questions that you have, but we made progress in terms of all the things I've talked about. I don't really want to talk about the turnover issue and things like that, because it's not anything we can do about it except keep working hard and to attract people to come to the workforce. And significant turnover, but I suspect everywhere you go, you're going to see a lot of turnover when it comes to jobs. But all people do is keep working very, very hard. And I won't talk about the labor because I think it's important to do some public process to negotiate one year. If we have another, then we're trying to nail it down. But I can tell you that it's consistent with whatever is proposed by the county. We're required, as a matter of fact, to Supreme Court to actually work in line with what your county is in terms of benefits and staff. April, and I keep saying her name, she probably would like to do it. I tell you, by the end of next month, the court will have converted all of its remaining paper records into electronic files. What does that mean? We had 575,000 pieces of paper in our court gone across the paper. And also, I should say, Janet Whittington. The two of them are just outside the box thinkers who are really putting this forward and she has actually worked with the county executive office, people has. And we think that we may not get everything right, but we're working with the big progress. Welcome anyone to come visit us to see what we on March 9th, I talked about the YouTube, but I just want to say again, we actually had 173 hours time where viewers have actually gotten on. You know, that's akin to somebody watching television. Clearly, it works. Clerks are now permanently assigned to provide on-site customer service, and we regularly update our website. All of these things through the tech department. I could go on and on and on. This effect you probably recognize as having reported before. But I welcome any questions that you have. April. Thank you for listening. That long statement.
So, thank you for your comment. I want to start by saying it is an extreme privilege that actually sitting at this table, design on this committee, and you being in attendance for someone who then mentor or friend and someone who I've known since you were on this commission. And that to see your work over the years, but more specifically in recent years, to begin to understand what the COVID court goes on the whole state and state filings and other sort of issues, to how you have basically grappled and created a partnership with D-Wing. I'm also on that board, and the partner, when I say partnership, there's a true partnership always referenced each month as far as the work when it comes to behavioral health and how you're working in tandem with D-Wing. And so that is something that's life-changing to so many people in our county. And so I appreciate the work that you do. And then not only that, when I became a commissioner right on COVID court, a lot of folks passed away, a lot of issues. Ms. Maycock, you and your team, how you help navigate those seniors that called my office, and just how you all respond to seniors continuously and families. You're remarkable. It's not like a court, it's like you're actually a human services department, the way that you've began operating. I appreciate that. So I wanted to say that for the record. And at this time, I'd like to ask if there's any questions from commissioners. And I would like to call on Commissioner Anderson and then Commissioner Maraki.
I think I will.
Okay, and then Commissioner Maraki and then Commissioner Vikram.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and welcome, Judge. I've always been amazed at how responsive you have. Yeah, probably all requests, issues that have arisen through the probate process. And one of the things I know that's gotten a lot of attention statewide in the last few years is the guardianship process. And I just wondered, based on what's happening in Lansing, I don't know if there's been any recent legislation, but I know there was some in the last session. Do you see any forthcoming changes in the process of guardianship?
More recently, there's been ongoing discussion. Attorney General. To my knowledge, has not been formation. The thing that I believe is most important for partnership would be to develop a piece of legislation that generate public guard. The public guardians are funded appropriately. We can take care of people. Right now, when we appoint someone to serve as guard, particularly as the guardianship agency of the non-family, it get about $85 to take care of someone on call 24 hours a day. Their expectations that we have towards guardians, you have responsibility to take care of family person. Just not realistic. Public guardianship needs to be established by law. It needs to be established, funded, appropriate. I can tell you that dating back, Chair, and I mentioned that he can be my mission with a young boy. But that was one of the first issues that we discussed with the judge. Public guardianship back in 1987. Still, we stop take care of it.
I think from what I've heard of some complaints that I've heard, is that some guardians and their guardianship process. Some of the guardians find out basically not, I guess they're not working within any parameters which they can charge to the estate or to the person in the guardianship. And it seems like that, I think needs to be addressed. I think that's community, the Attorney General, and hopefully, as far as historical perspective, or things further down the road. That's an idea.
That opportunity serves good. And I can tell you. Let's make something positive happen. This state.
Thank you for all you've done.
Thank you, Commissioner Maraki, and then Commissioner Vikram.
Mr. Chair, and welcome everyone. And Judge,
Please say it. Please call your name again.
oh, what, Chair Maraki, Mr. Glenn. Am I still your commissioner?
You're absolutely.
All right. I guess I wasn't sure. I'm really excited about, I'm gonna look more into this YouTube. Because I don't put this in my newsletter and I think you haven't come out. Is there a list of the form that I mean, can I get that somehow or put that into my newsletter? Which forms are available, or can they see that when they go on?
already be written down. You'll get information.
Okay, great.
And also too, Kevin Sanger is for attorney. He's the one who prepared these forms. And if you're interested or if the time allows, have to sit down.
Yeah, I would really like that, because I think this is great. What kind of turnaround time? I'm sure it depends on what. Or just said, is it pretty quick? Do they get some kind of notification that everything's okay and it's filed or?
So our turnaround time from 5 minutes. We're pretty current, which you consider 0 to 3 days. So it depends business days, but that is significant backlog. Tactical, through technology, a lot of these tools that we've implemented, like such a huge change. Has really helped the public be able to help themselves before they come to us. There's some standing. But we are right now proud of that. And so, yeah, it's that process. And we don't have an official filing system yet. We're hoping that we'll get on the MyFile system through SBAO on their timeline.
How many of you understand?
I know.
Very few.
I did until the last one.
I should.
You're doing great.
But yes, so it's not an official writing system, so it's not all automated. Response for your filing, so we handle it now. So it's a little clunky. We're hoping to get on the official filing system.
But they get some kind of response.
Yes.
Either through email. Yeah, I think this is great. I mean, people feel like they're in this. And then the fact that you digitized all the documents, amazing. You guys have really,
Of course, we're
yeah, I mean,
If you recall, the weekly audit bill, I can remember when came on board, cost, $428,000. They began to take them already last 35 years from that, they are off this line rather than order open and many in charge. And clearly, to get out of that building, that was April and the plaintiffs say the county for not only millions of dollars, but also really put us in a position to utilize our staff far better.
great, good job. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Baker McCormick, and then Commissioner Clemente, and then the Chair Bill will be last.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Please state your name. This
I am Wayne County Commissioner, Lee Baker McCormick, District 6, Northwest Detroit and Redford Township. Thank you, Judge, for your responsiveness. You're always responsive to many issues, questions that I have for my constituents. So I want to first thank you for that. As to the question Commissioner Narecki asked about the process of filing, and the response to the filing. When you file online, do you get a response back saying, okay, this is going to take 0 to 3 days?
We're not doing that, but I can tell you that that's something that we consider. This will put perspective. When the pandemic hit all over, we made a point virtual. And I did, so that people needed to file. They filed 24 hours a day, 70 days. You got so far behind that it made it possible, and the criticism, the right to vote, it's really fun having. I'm going to be okay with some. There was 8 o'clock. 4 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Is when you can find it. And that allows us to reasonable step. And work with state administrative law, we're able to narrow it down to basically zero. I defy anybody, go to any of them, fine, that you give me this term. So we welcome your advice, comment about it, and concern that you give. Concern. How can we do it better? If you have a suggestion, you have ideas, we don't tend to have all the answers. We work like,
So that would just be something that I would say would be helpful to constituents. When they file, if they have some, I don't know if it's in writing or where that could be an automatic reply. You know, this process could take, you know, a week or 2 weeks. We'll, you know,
I don't know how that would work, but we would certainly look at it, try to figure out some way to call. That we've been able to bring on some staff, but we still have 12 vacancies. That's certainly more people can get employed. That would be certain.
And the documents, the forms online that you can then fill out, is the link to the YouTube channel attached to that form? Right.
So on our website, specific documentation instructions. Within there, we'll list the form, links to the form, we'll list the link to the YouTube channel that explains exactly how to fill out the form. So everything is contained in one page, step by step with all of the right.
That sounds
Maybe that's why you didn't talk about it. People.
all right, and I would be interested in coming to visit so I can see the lay of the land.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely welcome. I'll tell you this, I can see a lot of people. We've been so effective in when people come in and file their petition, they come to the courthouse, they realize you're gonna find parking. They have to wait a while. They learn how to. They learn that they can have their hearing while they sit on their sofa at home instead of having to drive downtown. They're trying to put downtown. But the reality is, we are the people of Brad and President. So. One, bracket, keep, that we all. They be heard from all of you.
All right, so all hearings are,
Are able to be heard. One star, the judges in the house. They do so. I can tell you that. It's May 2020. I had 5 days that heard in court. 3 in jury trial, 2 reduced bench trial. 1 bench trial. People got the option and they realized.
so if you have technology in you, or you don't know how to use technology, you can come in person.
We provide you with a phone.
Either or, phone or virtual. Is that what you're saying?
Mostly virtual.
Okay.
We have a. Info.
Yes, info email, and we have kind of. This is the courthouse. We provide a lot of information. So that. So they can use their using the computer and that's where they can. or if they request the part residential change. Most people prefer to stay at home. Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner, we're gonna go to Commissioner Scott, Commissioner Baydun, and Chair Bell will be last. Clemente, Commissioner Clemente after Commissioner Scott.
All right. Good morning. Judge, always good to see you. Just on, Commissioner McCormick, do you have to have an appointment in order to come down?
No,
You don't? You can just come on in and.
we have people at the,
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
we have people at the door.
Oh,
We provide assistance to you. You got the up there on 13.
okay.
Welcome to come up.
Okay.
Welcome to come up. We have to walk through it. See exactly what we're doing and how it works.
All right, very good. Thank you. Just take you up on it.
Please do.
All right.
No,
Thank you.
you're always welcome.
Good to see you.
Commissioner Clemente, and Commissioner Baydun, and Chair Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm new to the commission, and sometimes. Thank you, Judge. Kara Clemente, I'm representing District 4. So I just kind of, thank you for all the work you're doing. I have a very high senior population, and probate court comes up a lot, and your fear, people have it. And, worked in the legislature on guardianship and about helping seniors and not taking advantage of. So I think sometimes the YouTube might be scary, so we might need a phone number, but a lot of seniors are very techy and savvy. So thank you for building that. So there was a question about capital improvements, and I just wanted to know the difference between case management and document management. Is that getting too much in the weeds, and we can always talk about that later. I'm gonna just add a couple more things to let you go. What you're doing is wonderful, and I would also like to get that information. I think all of us would like it for possible newsletters or to spread it to the public, because eliminating or educating people is very important. So thank you for that. And something else that I got the senior moment. So thank you.
You can cover.
Case management system. Cases and it manages or hearings, what's filed. Document management system is really where we store the electronic version of the documents. They talk to each other. They're absolutely integrated. So in the case management system, you can pull up pleading, filing, so they're integrated. It's just two different backend systems. One houses the actual documents, one houses the data. So that helps.
I'm just wondering about the funding for that. Is that in your budget, and is it adequate to helping you get to having all your documents in wherever they go?
It's so. So, funding is always a question, it's expensive, but right now, because status quo, okay, kind of waiting to see where we go with the filing. And that may require some changes into the future, but right now, we're able to provide great customer service, I believe. Have all those that information to the public in real time on our website.
Like it, like I said. Time, effort, there, and I think that the different reasons why we haven't gotten filed. But the decision comes up in trial. Please don't hesitate to say, any kind of probate court. Star and file. Really allows much better job.
That's a good point. Attorney uses as well. Okay, everybody's. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm just gonna ask, for the sake of time, if we, could keep our questions to the budget and relevant items associated with the budget, and we can always invite them back out to elaborate on some of the, questions that we have on their operation. For the sake of time. Commissioner Baydoun and then, Chair Bell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sam Baydoun, representing the City of Dearborn, Northern Allen Park. Welcome, Judge, and colleagues, welcome to the City of Dearborn. More of a comment, Judge, as a legal guardian for a family member, I truly appreciate everything that you guys do for the probate court. I know it's a year on the family member, I appreciate it. It's a quick question on, you mentioned about 500,000 documents that we can transfer to the online and computerized. Are there more documents that need to be transferred, or do you have everything already?
You have everything done.
Okay, good job. That's refreshing news. Thank you. That's my comment. Thank you. Chair Bell.
Thank you, Chair Alicia Bell, District 7. I just wanted to thank, Judge Bergman and his leadership, especially with the Gentleman on Health Initiative over the last, few years working together. And the fruit of that labor has been the behavioral health that we now have in probate court. So thank you, Judge, for your leadership. And for those who do not know, Judge Berg will be our panelist at the Tri-County Summit. So he will be sharing his knowledge on what we've done with that Gentleman Health Initiative to all of our partners throughout, the Tri-County area. We look forward to that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I mean, brief response. Madam Chair, thank you for all that you do, but I'm not going to be at the Tri-County. I have to keep your moderator.
Yes. Look forward to hearing you moderate, Bill.
Judge Burton. I wanna thank you for doing-
313-695-7790.
If you would, where that was well taken comments that were made initially, so written and to have a more complete record of your comments today. Thank you.
Do that. We process material.
Thank you. If you could send over digital, thank you. Madam Clerk, next item on the agenda.
Item C, discussion and presentation by the Treasurer's Office. Sorry, say that again.
Good morning, President Reed and Director. You please state the name and your video, for record, your title.
Eric Street, make sure.
Okay, we have in front of us. We have in front of us, the recommendation from the executive, as well as consideration or recommendation for, the budget for your next.
Okay, thank you.
Department for the next fiscal year. I'd like to start off by asking, based upon the recommendation, are there in, how will it impact your operations, from a strength perspective or a weakness perspective, based upon the recommendation? And do you, concur with, these recommendations?
Yes, we had some, we look up. The other,
Thank you. Can you highlight any significant changes in this proposed budget? Any specific programs or initiatives that you want to highlight to this commission that we should take note of as far as some of the contributions that benefit the community as a whole?
It is like that we are against mobile office. Into second thing that we want to do. Years. Here. Just renovation part of the name, as well as this year, furnishing. Those are three things.
I would like to take that opportunity to publicly, after I turn the microphone, I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank your office for your responses to residents, specifically residents who are in desperate situations, confused situations, and the compassion that your office has taken responding to folks who find themselves in dire straits associated with foreclosure. You have kept your word of setting first as far as residents and people, trying to find ways to keep them in their homes. And that does not go unnoticed by me, as well as the persons and families that you have kept in their homes. So hats off to you. I think you don't get enough accolades associated with that. Prior to you taking office, we had headlines, people losing their homes. And now we've seen a reversal of that. We're seeing more people remaining in their homes. I know personally how you are trying to bend over backward for you and your administration and trying to save people in their homes as long as they're reasonably working with the office. So I want that's something I definitely want to say publicly.
Sure. I want to just mention that there are several programs that are built to help taxpayers.
Can you all speak closer into the mic?
Government funded programs that were built to help taxpayers this year and last year. Michigan Homeowner Assistance Fund, one, AHSA program, which is also assisted by the Guild Foundation, to help people who are exempt because of the. So we have programs that we promoted them, and I just want to mention, we had our lowest.
Speaking now.
Closure.
Thank you.
Okay. 2020, lowest foreclosures in 14 years. That's something that's numbers are going down, and even the latencies, forfeiture comes down. Started off with that's the average of what they.
Thank you. I will now ask commissioners if they have any questions. I'll first go to Commissioner Bayum, then Commissioner Scott, and then Commissioner Baker McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Clear. Stand big on. So brief, thank you for being here. I want to echo what Chair, Hemlock mentioned, I truly appreciate everything that your office has done. to keep people. I know you and I have spoken many times before, and you have assisted many homeowners when I reached out to your office, so they can stay went above and beyond where people were about to be out in the street, and you worked with them and make arrangements, payment plans, and I greatly appreciate everything that your office has done. And you just mentioned, you kind of answered my question on some of the initiatives, some of the steps that you're taking, the different programs to keep people in their homes. My question, I think we talked about this in the prior hearing. I believe if someone owes less than $1,000 in back taxes, still your plan not to foreclose on everybody under $1,000. They owe less than $1,000.
We don't have. Based on. Someone is in trouble. And, illness, elderly, and unable to have their affairs, or they just. Work with each individual case. It actually allows us to do it. Yeah. Or I can have properties and have them for share all of the owner measures to make sure that we statute. We don't clear. But that's not part of the statute. Before the judge gets no time to test it tonight and certain protocol.
Agree, you also mentioned that the number of foreclosures this year would be the lowest in 14 years.
Yes, and if you exclude the pandemic year 22.
Yeah.
We didn't say what was, but we still may consider COVID pandemic since then, and that's one of the reasons why we've been so busy.
I think this has a lot to do with the programs that you have in place to help homeowners stay in their homes, and my hat's off to you. So, thank you.
Okay, now we'll recognize Commissioner Scott, Baker McCormick, and Nick Clemente, and the chair, she was chair from closing comments. Please say your name, take your name, please state your name and your district.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Deputy. I am Martha G. Scott, representing District 3, which is Highland Park and Hamtramck portions of Detroit. And I just want to echo some of the things that has already been said. But thank you so much, because that I have a very needy area. And not only do you put on these more programs, but you come out in the community and speak to them. So I don't know if you ever get any time to rest, but because I do know that whenever you're asked to come out to the community to a meeting and give this information, so I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And the deputy talked about mobile. So is the money in the budget now for mobile? Okay, now that's a great idea. So thank you so much for even coming up with that, to come out in the community.
Thanks for having me share it. One of the reasons, one of the reasons that I can find you to do all this work, that she got the church to run office on $1,000.
All right. Well, thank you, and your staff and even your community person gets very active out in the district. So thank you so much. And answering the phone whenever the calls are coming in. So again, thank you, and I do appreciate you. And continue on. Ask God to continue to bless you, to stay there and do the job that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and speaking as relates to the chief deputy, down here at Adams, she's absolutely, 24 hours as a support, person that you can, refer to and reach out to. Because, it's a lot of work, that takes place in the office, and I think a lot of people don't understand all the various, parts of the treasurer's office. So I appreciate, you both. So now we will, continue with, Commissioner, Baker McCormick. I'm sorry, not Baker McCormick, Commissioner, Clemente, Commissioner Clemente again.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm only going ahead because I have follow up on the mobile unit. Thank you. I've heard from my communities that you guys are coming out and doing that. It's very beneficial having mobile units or coming to the community when people can't get downtown. A lot of seniors in my district, different for Lincoln Park, First, River Rouge, Mountaindale, and parts of Detroit. But the 400,000 that you have, you mentioned mobile unit and carpeting and different things, renovations. About how much does that mobile unit cost? And then how much staffing do you also figure into that?
So we budgeted $250,000 for the police our existing staff to operate mobile unit along with hiring one person, commercial drivers, licensed drivers.
You're very supportive of that for. Thank you.
You, Commissioner Moretti, and then, Chair Bell with, Program. Commissioner Baker McCormick and Moretti.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just wanted to also commend on the work that you do. I know when I first became a commissioner, I was really concerned about the foreclosures that was happening in my district. Again, I'm Wayne County Commissioner for me, District 6, Northwest Detroit and Redford. And so with the mobile unit, I appreciate that work. But how do you determine where the mobile unit is on a daily basis and how and what communities? You only have one, is that correct?
Right, we only have one.
Okay.
But what we do, first of all, we look at the target areas and Wayne County as a whole, it's really not a social problem. It's 43 communities. Doesn't have- That doesn't mean we're not gonna go. We really like to see no foreclosures. And sometimes people don't know what's going on, especially elderly. It could be like 1 or 2. We may join communities together, we may say, let's go to Trent and really do, and well, 2 communities or 3 communities one day, something like that. We go to a community like it's a bigger room, just focus on that community itself. But we may go to, like the home in Northville, Township, really, they may don't need, your attention, but we're gonna go there anyway, like, who lives here together.
And are you advertising, when you're in that community?
Well, we haven't started yet.
Oh, you have, okay.
We haven't got unit yet.
Oh, okay.
We're raising money.
Okay.
Right.
So you will be advertising.
Yes.
in once you're in those.
Definitely.
Okay.
We want to make it work.
Okay, and you getting grant money from community partners, any assistance of any kind? Well, I'm anticipating, I guess, any partnerships with any other, like you mentioned, the Gilbert Foundation was assisting with foreclosure issues, related issues.
They actually did this on the end.
Okay.
Because majority of foreclosures, sure. Help us.
All right, and then as far as the Raffaelli, lawsuit, is that impacting the budget in any way at this point? I know that was ongoing.
So the Raffaelli costs go on,
Right.
so we. Retroactive. So we really can't determine yet what the budget impact will be. We do still maintain reserves to the amount we can cover, usage of, options of the.
And do you see an uptick of the numbers of, I guess, there could be other potential lawsuits related to that? Do you see that number of an uptick in that number, or is it, steady?
Current lawsuits are for a class. So it's just. If you see lawsuits. Patient. Federal courts and, there are a number of.
Well, thank you.
And Commissioner Bacon forward, asking my questions, but the only one I have is when you get this. Oh, very correctly, Mr. When you get this unit up and running, will people be able to go like on your website and find out where it is each day? Okay, all right, this is something I'd like to. All these new things are gonna be good for newsletters. So.
And to that point, the satellite offices, can you send us that information, like where, you do the satellite locations, but does that move the satellite that you have? Like Wayne County?
You don't have them.
Oh, you don't have it right now, okay.
Can you speak into the mic when you respond?
We don't have any.
You're just everywhere then, because I see you everywhere, and I'm thinking, okay, all right.
Actually, everywhere. As we used to have. on Saturday, we had- in February, March. Used to do this every year. We think it's 20. Back, never really started. But we really try to get individuals to make appointments. From appointments system only now. And since the 2020, we launched the appointment system. So we don't have crowds of people waiting. Now, it's easier for people to make an appointment, come in.
I don't want to scare you, I'm in here. I'm here. I didn't want to scare you. Oh, I'm not scary. I'm still getting. I can't hardly hear any of that. But I have some notes, so you can read them on the way.
Okay.
And I guess Frank and they are gonna comment. I can write.
Okay, excellent. You got my stuff and go. You know, I was gonna ask if I saw your text where you mentioned the CJC, and I know that we had a PowerPoint with some really good photographs of the CJC, and if you want, wait 5 minutes and see if Fran can, if you wanted to bring any. I mean, it would only take like a minute, but I don't know if that would be helpful or not. If it's not necessary, that's
Well, if they
fine.
have their own special committee, maybe that would be more appropriate for that committee.
Okay.
At a later time. But I mean, if they care to ask about that, I know speaking off the topic of the budget, the chair said, can we, fellow commissioners, keep our budgets? I mean, keep our budgets.
Joe? Bring the sweater. So Frank's coming with us?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much.
That's what I personally know.
Once again, I would like to remind you, any comments that you did not, I guess, give to the commission in advance, if you could send that to our staff so we can have more of a complete record. Also, any materials or documents that were referenced in your comments that are not available for today, you also can supply that as well. The committee will deliberate over the recommendation from the administration, as well as I'm glad to hear that you all have worked out any differences associated with any questions that may be outstanding. So thank you for hearing this morning, and we will be in touch.
Thank you.
Madam, Clerk, members of the public, as well as committee members, this committee will stand in recess to the call of the